Welcome back, Superior Cuts and Styles with Sir Reginald. You guys are back for Chapter 2 of Superior Grooming 101. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and do this faded mohawk, and I'm going to walk you through play-by-play using detachable guards. Right here, we're starting with the number 2, working our way around the parietal ridge, not to go too deep into the actual hair up top, which is going to disrupt the flow of our mohawk. Making sure we use that comb. Whenever you cut the hair, you want to comb that hair back down so you can keep a clear visual of what you got going on. Now we're going to go from number 2 to the 1.5, and we're just going to go ahead and combine those two. What you want to do is start that cut a little lower than you started the number 2. Moving on from there, you're going to move on to the 1A. And you're going to move down just a little bit more from where you last cut with the 1.5. So far we go 2, 1.5, 1A. Sometimes using the corner of that blade really helps to bring in those fine, defined transition points. Next step, you guessed it, we moved all the way down to the number 1. And we're going to want to cut across the grain, not necessarily parallel up and down. You create lines when you do that. But if you go side to side across the grain, you tend to get a much better flow of the haircut. As always, continue to comb that hair, brush that hair down so that you keep your sight picture all together. There we go, using the corner of that blade again. Next step, we're going to go down to our OA. And just like we've been doing, we're going to keep moving down each level at a time. So now we're at the very bottom of that blend. And like I said, you get those detailed areas, you want to use the corner of that blade. And what that's going to do is start to knock some of the distortion out of your blend. Like looking at it from right now, at this point, you can still see some distortion in there. We'll just keep working our technique. Next stop, triple O. And that should blend you all the way down. I mean, some of you guys may go down to a 4-0 or even a 5. But from that triple O, you'll be able to judge how low you want to actually bring it to the skin. Now that's the complete revolution of the guards, but as you can see, there's still some distortion in that blend. So we're going to backtrack a few steps and get in so we can knock out some of that. We could go with the number 1. That would be the most logical, but I'm going to risk it. And I'm going to go all the way back to the OA on this one. And just start to touch some of those distorted areas in my blend to kind of make smoother transitions. And whenever you find yourself cleaning out your blend, you just want to backtrack everything that you just did. And again, as long as you're cutting across the grain, you don't have to worry about making and creating new lines. Finally, we'll finish off with our adjustables. Some of us are a little more comfortable with the adjustable. And we'll go in with the adjustable and just kind of do some cleanup. If you guys didn't get a chance to check out chapter 1 of this, I showed you how to do that beard. But if you're watching this for the first time, you want to go backwards, I encourage you to go back and check out chapter 1. Now we're just going to go in and keep a nice natural edge up by not digging in, making sure we pull all the hairs possible to the forefront of the hairline so we don't catch ourselves digging or going into it. That's a practice I do with my clients. I just really don't like going into the hairline unless instructed, and even then I'll ask for a disclaimer. And here on this side of the blend, we're going to do the same steps we did with the detachables, but this time we're going to use the adjustable. And I just want to show you the diversity of your tools. You're going to use the same basic technique. We're just using a different tool this time. Going to go with the Wahl Magic Clip Adjustable. Start that off with the 1.5 guard. And first thing we want to transition is the bulk hair into the lighter hair. So we're going to use that 1.5. And we're always cutting across the grain, not necessarily parallel to the grain, because parallel to the grain tends to make lines of demarcation that are a headache in the long run to get out, and they consume a lot of your time. Okay, that was our 1.5. Our next one will go ahead to the 1 guard. And these are Wahl guards. I'm gonna start off wide open. For safety measures, you always want to start off wide open and work your way all the way to the close. And this technique that we're using is called, there's several names for it. Some people call it reverse fading. Some people call it top down fading, or it's another name I've heard for it. Fading down or down fading, whatever you want to call it. This is the visual of whichever one it is. But I do prefer to cut this way. It saves me a lot of time. It's a very effective method. But there's 1,000 different ways you can do this particular haircut. I'm just showing you this one. And here I opened up the blade and I'm creating a temporary line of demarcation just as a guide. And as you can see, I'm blending that out already. That's wide open. And you want to work your whole revolution of that guard handle. You want to go ahead and start to close it down. And that's going to begin to create the dimension in your blend. Again, whenever you want details on your blend, you want to isolate that down to the corner of your blade and use that as sort of like a pencil or an eraser instead of using your entire blade for an area. And that's just another technique that you can use. Here's a little close up. Let me see if I can give you a better visual. As you can see, I'm just using the very triangle corner of that blade. I've isolated the uses in my blade all the way down. Now to work that area that was a little more bulky, we went right back to our 1 guard. And we're just going to transition that bulk area into the blend that we just created. Now we're just basically going back, doing some cleanup to the blend, getting out any distortion in our blend, trying to make it a nice smooth transition. Very appealing to the eye. Whenever you look at it, you can say, ooh, that's what they call the blurry. My man almost went to sleep on me there. You leaned forward. But anyway, this is the finished product of that haircut. I hope you guys learned something or enjoyed it. Like I said, I enjoyed doing this. comment, subscribe, anything you want to do. You guys have a blessed one. Thank you.